Your eyes are not deceiving you. That's the smog level today. Episode 12. Trev's Wrestling Show here on Trev TV. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, that's just too sweet. Anyway, so what have I got for you today in my fancy Trev TV satchel? Ooh, well, I have NXT 25. Well, Takeover 25. Now, I debated whether I wanted to do this one or not because it is only NXT, but at the same time, it's much more enjoyable than the current WWE product. And it's another way to show that I'm not completely one-sided. I mean, given how Double or Nothing just played out last week, it's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan again. I mean, I haven't been this excited, oh jeez, not counting TNA, since the Monday Night Wars. But having said all that, let's dive into my predictions for NXT Takeover 25. So, the match card I have, I don't know if this is the exact way it's going to go down or not, but I'm going to go from bottom up, and give my predictions from there. So first match on the card, Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. I don't know. This one could be a tough one to call. I mean, you can make the argument to keep pushing Matt Riddle. You can make the argument to keep pushing Roderick Strong. And given how they've already started teasing a breakup with Undisputed Era, I could see if Strong loses, that only makes it a little bit more, how do I put it? There's more a divide. And I'll explain later on as we go. So having said all that, I'm going to go with Riddle. He's going to be the guy they're going to push hard for a while. Whether it's in NXT, whether it's in main roster, he's going to get pushed hard. So my prediction here is Riddle. We have our first championship match on the card for the NXT North American Championship. You got the champ, the Velveteen Dream, versus Prince Pretty, Tyler Breeze. Now, I don't want to think that Breeze is only there for enhancement to help push the younger guys, because I mean, really, he was never really given a proper platform other than, oh, hey, I can make selfie videos, you know, and all that fun stuff. But at the same time, I can't see why they would derail Velveteen at this point. Having said that, in this battle for the spotlight, I'm gonna have to go with the Dream. He's over. He's very over. And he's only gonna have more momentum and more of a push going forward, I think. Next, you got ladder match for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championships. You got Oney Lorcan versus Danny Burch versus the Street Profits of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford versus the Undisputed Era, which is Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, versus the Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler. I've never really been a huge fan of four-ways, but that's just me. I know everybody is entitled to their opinion. Everybody has different points of view on four-ways, let alone a ladder match. You could start any story anywhere with any of these teams. Being Undisputed Era has already been two-time tag champs. I don't see why it'd be unreasonable to give them a third reign. But outside that, it's really hard to predict anything for the other teams. I mean, Street Profits, sure, give them some exposure. The Forgotten Sons, sure, give them some exposure. Lorcan and Burch, no, I don't think having them as tag champs makes a lot of sense right now, but that's just me. So having said all that, I'm going with the Undisputed Era to be your three-time NXT Tag Team Champs. Up next, you got the NXT Women's Championship. You got the champ, Shayna Baszler, versus Io Shirai. Why stop Baszler now? She's only the most dominant thing in NXT. Yeah, I think this was pretty cut and dry. Baszler's gonna run over everything, like she has been doing for the last year, 2 years. Taking the strap off her now makes no sense. So, having said that, my prediction is Baszler. Match 5, and your main event for the evening. For the NXT Championship, you got the champ, Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, versus Adam Cole, baby. Now, rumor is, Gargano's working hurt. So, should that make the prediction easy? No, it shouldn't. Because, I mean, there's been many guys who have worked programs hurt and worked through injury. I mean, take Ciampa, for example. His whole championship run, he was hurt. You know, it only came to a point where it had to happen that he had to vacate and go for surgery. And I mean, Cole and Gargano together, I think, are gold. They're gold. The chemistry is off the map. And the build up to this match is no different than the build up to when the NXT Championship was vacant. It's a good build. And I mean, whether it turns into a slow burn or whether or not you see a nice changing of the guard, I'm going with Adam Cole, baby. It's about time he's given a run for it. Sky's the limit with Adam Cole, baby. I mean, they could do many different things. I mean, they could, again, going back to the whole teasing of splitting the Undisputed Era with Roddy Strong there. You know, unless Roderick Strong comes out with the fucking 24/7 belt, which I hope he doesn't, then they'd all have gold. And I mean, the whole idea for Undisputed Era was for all of them to have gold. And since Roddy's not competing for the North American Championship, he's obviously the odd guy out. So, I mean, whether this accelerates them kicking Strong out, who knows? But Adam Cole, baby, comes out your NXT champ. So says me. Now, I should point out, given how well my predictions for Double or Nothing went, and how well my predictions for the Stanley Cup playoffs are going, take my predictions with a grain of salt. I'm not winning anybody money, as is evident. But I'd hope that with only 5 cards, or 5 matches on this card, my predictions would come out a little bit better, as opposed to the Stanley Cup playoffs, as opposed to Double or Nothing. And either way, it's an NXT event, it's a takeover event, and NXT takeovers always do better than main event shows. So hopefully, this one won't be any different. It'll be a great show. Everybody will enjoy it, but that's the hope anyway. And that was episode 12, Trev's Wrestling Show here on Trev TV. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership always means so much to me. Always has, always will. The fact that everything's going up for Trev TV the last week and a half is a promising thing, and I'm quite ecstatic, and I appreciate everybody who watches even a sliver of a fraction of my videos. It puts a smile on my face, which is a great thing. But if you like this video, give it the thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it the thumbs up. There's a little red button over there. You know what to do. Now you can keep up to date with all my content going forward. As for going forward, we'll get to that in a minute, but if you want to, you can find Trev TV on Facebook at Trev's TV. And if you really want to, if you're on the Instagram machine, you can find Trev TV at rockstartrev on Instagram. So going forward, as I was saying before I remembered I had to do my cheap little plugs, I have to get a Spartacus video in. I missed it last week because I was so focused on the wrestling videos, which is not a bad thing. Like I said, I wanted to give the wrestling playlist a lot more attention, and it's getting it. So that's a great thing, but I can't neglect the Spartacus reviews. I'm debating whether I want to start the Transformer review. I know I've kind of already kiboshed what I had in mind and what I already had filmed for it, so I might just redo that. Other than that, look for a reaction video to NXT Takeover. On top of that Spartacus video, and whatever else decides to pop up. So in the meantime, and in between time, be on the lookout for more videos from Trev.